watching News 12 at 6 o'clock.
We begin with a good news update tonight. It's been a month since a Burke County vet was attacked by a dog. Dr. Emily Martin had injuries to her hand and her leg that kept her out of work while she recovered, but now she is easing back into a job she loves so much.
Cindy Hood stopped by the clinic to see how she's doing and what the community support has meant to her so far.
This is the spot where a dog mauled Dr. Emily Martin before dragging her for 7 feet to this spot right here. That was a month ago. She's now inside, back doing the thing she loves the most.
It's okay.
Welcome back, Dr.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
They are getting rabies vaccine today, the Wrdw vaccine and a kennel-cough vaccine.
You did good.
I wasn't really supposed to be using this hand as quickly as I have been, but I have a 5-year-old son and a 3-year-old son, and I have horses. I have 5 dogs.
So I'm in heaven.
And her own vet practice, too.
Come here.
It would take a lot to get something to turn me away from veterinary medicine and being here for my clients and their pets. Blood work was good. It's who I am and it's what I do.
Good job. It's what she's known for.
Oh, thanks. The end of the day, I'm Emily Martin, who has dreamed about being a veterinarian since forever, and I knew I had to change my mindset, keep it positive in order to get back here.
She wouldn't be here.
If the girls didn't pull him off of me physically, I wouldn't be here. I know with no doubt.
Something she thinks about often.
All I remember when I look as far as is just like reaching over with this hand and feeling teeth to try to get a jaw off of me. That's how I get flashbacks of that.
But to her, the scar on her right arm,
A physical reminder that I'm still here for a reason, and whatever reason that is, I'm going to try to continue being the best doctor that I can be for this community and their pets.
It's okay.
and to animals,
Right now.
she's everything. In Burke County, Sydney Hood, on your side.
What a great attitude after all she's
Been through a lot. Definitely a calling for her.
To be so positive, Dr. Martin says she could not have made it this far without the community support.
And there has been a ton of it, but her main focus right now is continuing to get up and go back to work every day.
To weather now, as we give you a live look outside, River watching I-20. A lot of cloud cover today, but Riley is trying to break up there here as we head towards sunset.
I know, it's waiting until the very end of the day to finally start breaking up for us, but this cloud cover all day long kept a little bit warmer for us. Those high temps back into the 80s. Have a look at that weekend for you in just about 10 minutes.
It's been 5 days now since a couple of people lost their lives on Mike Paget Highway. One of those was 30-year-old Richard Faber from Burke County. And tonight, his wife and in-laws sit down with News 12. Hallie Turner, live in our newsroom. And so, Hallie, what did they tell you about it?
Well, they tell me that Rich Faber held many titles in his 30-year lifespan: Navy veteran, son, brother, and husband. But his wife says his favorite title of them all was dad.
There's one song that always runs through my mind that reminds me so much of Rich. The lyric goes, I'm no chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday.
Rich Faber is the diamond that caught Carrie Ann Faber's eye more than a decade ago.
So we met on MySpace chat rooms. I was 10, definitely shouldn't have been on a chat room.
From there, the cyber lovers created a life together.
We reconnected when I was like 17. When I turned 18, me and a friend from college drove to Indiana to meet him for the first time. I knew then that he was the one.
Their journey together came with a few bumps in the road.
We did have a miscarriage the first time I got pregnant, and it was very hard on both of us. But again, because of the way he is, he kind of pushed his own feelings to the side and was there for me through anything.
But no matter the circumstances, Rich faced adversity with a smile.
Rich always had a smile on his face. It didn't matter what was going on. It didn't matter even in the worst of times. Richard had a smile on his face.
And his son Michael arrived a year later while he was deployed.
As a matter of fact, the official day that I lost the baby was April 9th of 2016, and Michael's due date was April 10th of 2017. And then he was born on the 6th.
Friday night, Rich was killed in a head-on collision on Mike Paget Highway. As they push through for the days ahead, she's reminded of one thing.
He would just want me to continue to remember him how he was and make sure our kids know how much he loved him.
And the greatest gift he leaves behind is the gift of life.
It was just a couple weeks ago that we found out she was a girl. And I know we both wanted a girl, but God, he was so excited.
Now, Carrie Ann tells me they are extremely thankful for everyone who was at the scene of the crash Friday night, and they're so humbled by the community that has literally wrapped their arms around their entire family during this time.
I know they're counting on that support. Hallie, thank you. There's also been an outpouring of support on social media for Rich Faber and that family. Thanks for telling their story tonight.
Over the years, thousands have attended Aiken's One Table event, but this year the Thanksgiving Day tradition will not happen. That's according to the event's organizer, Catherine Wade. She says every year they depend on Newberry Hall for warmers and fridges to hold all of that food, but it's not available this year. There is hope, though. Some are already thinking of ideas to fix this problem for next year, and she hopes with new leadership it can return. Our I-team has uncovered new information tonight about 2 Richmond County deputies fired last week amid a sex scandal. One of them a high-ranking member of the sheriff's command staff.
The other is a young investigator. Meredith Anderson has been going through their personnel files.
There wasn't much in Allison Walker's file because she hasn't been a deputy that long. But Brandon Beckman's file, that's another story. Until he was fired last week, he had been with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office for 24 years. So his file was a couple hundred pages. Still, what stood out most wasn't something we found in those files. It's what we found was missing.
If you just looked at his personnel file, you probably think Captain Brandon Beckman still works for the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Same goes for investigator Allison "Allie" Walker. There is nothing in either file saying they were fired. Still, we know they were both terminated September 18th, and not because the Richmond County Sheriff's Office confirmed it. A state accreditation board did. Georgia Post regulates law enforcement officers in the state, and by law, agencies have 15 days to notify them of a termination, which RCSO did in this case. But Sheriff Richard Roundtree still hasn't notified us, and therefore you, the community he serves. After multiple independent sources confirmed Beckman and Walker lied about an inappropriate relationship, we filed an open records request for their personnel files. Again, neither file had anything about this alleged sex scandal, or even if they had a relationship, but we are learning more about both. Let's start with the higher-ranking one, Brandon Beckman, a captain who managed the Criminal Investigation Division. The majority of his job responsibilities included supervising, training, counseling, evaluating, and disciplining subordinates. Subordinates like investigator Allie Walker. His reviews are glowing, his most recent one noting he is a position of trust and strives to maintain a code of ethics needed for this position. Even in 2017, his evaluation notes his superior service. Further back, though, a few blemishes, resulting in several suspensions, the most serious one way back in 2001. Reports show he confiscated 3 clips of ammo from a suspicious vehicle, then a 4th from another location, but did not turn them into the property room, and then lied to an investigator about it. He was suspended for 8 days. After a few other missteps, it appears he was able to rise in the ranks over the years, until just last week when the I-team discovered his photo was removed from the command staff website. Allie Walker's file, it's also full of positive reviews in her 3 years at RCSO. This past January, it's noted she's proven to be honest and can be depended on to tell the truth. It also says she takes responsibility for her actions and makes sound decisions for the best outcome. Again, both she and Beckman were allegedly fired not for having an inappropriate relationship, but for lying about it.
Now, just within the last hour, we did finally hear back from the sheriff's office. They gave us their first official confirmation that Walker and Beckman were fired. It is just 2 pages, one for each of them. It says that they were fired on the 18th, that's Monday, but it includes no information as to why. It does say, though, that neither of them are eligible for rehire. Of course, we'll keep digging.
And thanks for the update there, Meredith. Well, as music lives on, still to come, we're going to show you how some local kids are getting in touch with their talents and their musical roots.
And temperatures have been close to 15 degrees below average the last couple of days, but temperatures are warming up as we close out the week. We'll have a full look at the forecast just after the break.
Time and temp.
Next week, those temperatures cool off a little bit with mornings in the 50s.
Thank you, Riley. Fall is, of course, here, and that means almost time for the leaves to start turning those shades of red and yellow and orange. Here's the 2023 Fall Foliage Guide. It says our area should start to see that change during the middle of October, but what is the science behind that? First Alert meteorologist Mikhail Hannah-Harding in the studio to explain.
Yes, Richard, when we're talking about fall foliage, there are some ideal conditions that make for the best, most vibrant and bright colors. So we're looking at lots of sun being needed and less cloudy days, which get that chemical reaction going inside of those leaves as they do transition from that summer feel to more of a fall-like look. And that's how we get those vibrant and bright colors really from that sunshine. Also don't need any windy days so that the leaves can actually stay on the trees longer and go through that full transition of going from their summer form to that fall form. And we're also looking at no early freeze or frost events. So definitely not hoping for that. And as we get through October, we actually have historically hit some of those temperatures around 36 towards the end of the month. So hoping that we can hold that off though. But as we continue to look forward to what this summer was, it was a cooler and wetter summer. So the leaves appear very green and healthy, and drought stress has been limited. So we're really set up pretty good for a good fall foliage season here. And we're looking towards a cooler and wetter fall, which would unfortunately maybe make those leaves a little bit more duller and less vibrant if that comes true. But as we look at typically what happens here over the coming months, as we head towards the middle of October, that's when we start to see a little bit of color getting down towards the CSR rate. As we continue towards November, a lot of areas start to reach their peak in terms of fall colors, and definitely by December, everyone should be in that full peak for their fall foliage.
Okay, looking forward to the leaves starting to change.
It'll be here soon.
Yep. Today, the James Brown Academy of Music pupils put on a great show in honor of James Brown's year-long 90th birthday celebrations. Take a look. The group performed at Augusta Tech for their Founders Week, and they played classics from the Godfather of Soul. James' goal is to help youth discover their musical abilities.
Music helps kids in school. It's been documented that it helps them in their behavior and their grades. And so when he passed, I wanted to be able to honor him in a way that I thought that he would enjoy and that he would support if he was here.
And that's just what she did. The James Brown Academy of Music was founded back in 2011 behind James Brown's daughter, who you just heard from, Deanna.
Good to see them. That music lives on, and the students, year after year, keep it alive.
It looks like they're having a good time to go with it. Forever in our hearts, that is how Strom Thurmond is remembering a teacher who recently passed suddenly. Her story coming up.
When it comes to your business, it's not a matter of when a disaster will happen, but how prepared will you be when that time comes. That is why we built the Rumsey Response Plan app. Whether your business has fire damage, water damage, or storm damage, our unique planning app can help you get back to business quicker. From the smallest out-of-pocket loss to the largest disaster, Rumsey Construction and Restoration is your partner in commercial restoration.
Students and faculty from Strom Thurmond High School remembering one of their own. It's been a little more than a week now since an English teacher, Jacqueline Ballard, passed away.
Now her colleagues are remembering her kindness and compassion. Taylor Martin stopped by Strom Thurmond High School to learn more about her career and the legacy she leaves behind.
This is right outside of the classroom where Jacqueline Ballard taught English here at Strom Thurmond High School. And as her family, friends, and colleagues remember her, they're reflecting on the legacy that she's leaving on everyone she knew.
I would describe Jackie as lovable, kind, genuine, book guru, because she loved literature, and Jackie was just an amazing person.
It's what everyone's saying about Jacqueline, who they affectionately called Jackie.
I don't think people realized how funny she was. It was a wicked sense of humor, and just super intelligent.
A lover of Mexican food.
She loved going to La Fogata. She would get the Texas fajita.
And a lover of literature, who even had a few wise words herself.
I would always think of her being brilliant. As she said to me a lot, was that there are so many people in society that know so much, but they're too afraid to share with other people.
Now this sign saying "Forever in Our Hearts" sits right outside of her classroom with sweet messages from her students and colleagues.
They all loved her because she was like a mother hen to them. She took care of her students all the time.
Through her selflessness, her intelligence, and her love, they're looking ahead to how they'll let her legacy live on in their hearts and in the hallways of Strom Thurmond.
I've been talking to the librarian about setting up a display of some of her favorite books so the kids could come in and check out books that she enjoyed and learn more about her by the books that she read.
Reporting in Edgefield County, Taylor Martin on your side.
And her memorial services were Wednesday in Graniteville.
You can tell she will be missed.
And she was so loved.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
A couple of weeks ago, the Midland Valley football team was 4-0 for the first time in school history. Then they were 5-0 for the first time in school history. And after winning last week's game over Swansea 77-0, the Mustangs continue their historic season at 6-0. The combination of their powerful downhill running attack and their physical play on defense has helped the Mustangs outscore their opponents by a total of 140 points through their first 6 games. There are over 20 seniors on this year's team, led by running back Trayvon Dunbar, whose impact has been felt the second he stepped on campus. After a few down years, the Valley is exploding with pride for their Mustangs, and for a good reason.
I think our kids have really felt the support. You know, we went on the road a couple weeks ago all the way down to Westwood High School in Columbia. I mean, I feel like we had more fans than they did at their home game. Right? And that just shows our kids can feel that love, and it gives them something to play for, you know, and they want to represent the community the best way they can.
The Mustangs are off this week, but next Friday they continue their historic season by kicking off region play on the road against the Airport Eagles. You can watch our full 20-minute interview with Coach Chapman on WRDW.com. Now the votes are in and the people have decided the battle for Columbia County between the Evans Knights and the Lakeside Panthers will be our Under the Lights game of the week. We'll have live pregame and postgame coverage from Evans High School tomorrow night. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.
I'm Mike Haas. Welcome back, folks. To give you another quick view down the Savannah River from our Thurmond Dam Cam, you can see the cloud cover towards Augusta, but generally sunny skies now over the Thurmond Dam. So beautiful picture out there. We are looking to hang on to a few clouds for the rest of tonight, but low temperature is going to feel comfortable over the next several mornings. Down near 60 degrees Friday all the way through next weekend, potentially even seeing the upper 50s at times. Looks like our afternoon temperature is finally getting warmer, staying in the 80s Friday through next week.
Looks good out there, Riley. Thanks. Our next live update, 7 o'clock on NBC 26.
Then we're back with more News 12 tonight at 11.